episode, shall we? Who's ready for some boom, baby, boom? Rise. And no shine. It's already kind of dark out here. If you can't tell, it's like flat gray across everywhere I'm looking today. Your boy Saint is doing the morning motivation in the clouds, in the fucking Pilbesa, about to blow some clouds and talk about indomitable spirits this morning because it's been quite the journey, I have to say. Yesterday, I was so inspired by my buddy Benny Mac being able to take action, and it's one of the hardest things to do is to motivate yourself into taking action. It's going to be one of those things where a lot of us are afraid of our own action. We're afraid of our own spirit. We're afraid of our own indomitable spirit. And I'm here being the Indomitable Snowman. It's not snowing, it's kind of drizzling, but it's out there. And so is life. And I wanted to jump into it this morning. I wanted my morning motivation, got it already motivated, but I wanted to talk about taking bold action. I know it's not one of the easiest things to do because what you're going to do is come up against your excuses. You're going to come up against your comfort level. You're going to come up against all sorts of things that don't want you to succeed. There's going to be all sorts of things that are going to keep you sitting where you've been sitting and not moving or doing anything about it. And that's unfortunate. Look, these guys lay the brick. I give them a compliment, and hopefully by the end of the show, these two dudes will push all the way through. But let's light this up, shall we? Let's get some morning motivation. I'll tell you what's going on with it. When you are afraid, when you are unsteady, when you are not ready, what'll happen is your life will fill in the blanks for you. You know what I mean? It'll actually just sit there and let you sit. It'll actually be the type of place that will allow you to quit. And like I said, my friend, it was a Muhammad Ali quote, but it was like, impossible is nothing. Impossible is an idea. It's a mindset. It's what we tell ourselves to make us quit. It's one of those things that we say, it's not possible, so therefore I won't even try. And what's unfortunate is we don't even master the power inside. We never give ourselves an opportunity to be the ultimate human being that we are. Not the ultimate as in genetics or race or production, but in your own personal movement. And I'll tell you what it came out to. Biddy back was sitting there, right? And he goes, what am I fucking doing here, dude? I got my fucking dick in my hands. This is me speaking, not him, but you know, I'm in my van. I'm not doing shit with my life. And this one of my favorite scopers comes by in New Zealand, rents a badass Porsche, and is live in front of 20,000 viewers. Now, he could have sat in his van. He could have kept smoking weed. He could have gave himself an excuse not to move, or I don't have any money. But he took an action that has inspired me into more action. And I'll tell you an inspirational story that has nothing to do with me, but it's so fucking cool that he took action, dude. It's so fucking cool that he said, you know what? I want to meet these guys. And he got himself up off his ass. He drove 200 kilometers, saw their scope while they were going live, got on their live, knocked on their window, and they're like, how'd this guy find us? Oh my God, get on our views. Now he's got 10,000 fucking subscribers. He's got people watching him. He's got at least almost 10,000, I think 8,500 people following him because he took action. Now watch this action take place. Here's what happens. Now, because he moved from his situation, because he moved from where he was to where he wanted to be, he got to be in an opportunity. He got something called momentum. And that's something that's really hard to stop. That's why I call it indomitable, because it's hard to stop somebody that's motivated. Heavy on the motivation. If you're the type of person that can take action, if you can tell your brain to get up off its ass and do some push-ups, or not go eat those cupcakes, or go knock on that fucking door, all of a sudden you've created a new window. See all these windows? You created yourself a new door that didn't exist before. And that's what's so cool about taking action. When you give yourself the opportunity Give yourself the opportunity, not look for an opportunity or wait for an opportunity to come to you. You become the power. You become that power of now that Eckhart Tolle writes about, and I highly recommend reading that book. Someone recommended it to me, and I was being snotty like, oh, I already read that book. Give me more books to read. Matter of fact, my dumbass needs to go back to that list of books that girl had read and start reading them. Here's what happened, and I'm so inspired by this, dude. It's so fucking cool that he fucking did this, dude. Check it out. He goes, if I sit here, I'm guaranteed to be here. But if I go, I'm not guaranteed what will happen, but what will definitely happen is something different. And that's all we need. We need just like a different diet. We need a different mentality. We need a reason. And that's what I saw in this guy. You know, I saw a reason for him to be in the season. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made it so fucking cool, was that he fucking took bold action. And I was so proud of him because I didn't know that he was just watching the show. But he's like, why am I just sitting here watching? Why can't I be being? Why can't I be doing? And that's what really inspired me, because now, instead of me coming to go visit him all the way in New Zealand, he took action and started moving towards me. I think he followed these guys into Melbourne, Australia too, and got some of their viewers and started taking action. And he was sitting there by the guy's cool Porsche, and he goes, cool Porsche, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's a really cool car. And it is a cool car. He's right. It's a fucking really cool car. But what's really cool about it is the guy said, if you keep scoping, if you keep going live, this will be you next year. And last year I was you, and I didn't even fucking know it. And then next thing I grew this show, and you can do the same thing too. Something about witnessing somebody. And I say witness me. I keep watching this movie called The Road to Fury by Mad Max, and he said witness me, and then he jumped and committed suicide. But the strong saying of it, this energy that he had with it was so fucking indomitable. This like I can't be destroyed. This is my world. This is something that I created, that I wanted to do, and so I wanted to do something. And that's all it is when you take an idea and you make it a thing. It's one thing to just have an idea. It doesn't take that much effort to just like come up with a concept, but it takes a lot of effort to work the concept. It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness to actually work the idea that you have. I said I like ideas. I love when someone works their idea. You know, it's one of those things where it's just like, you can for sure be guaranteed to be sitting in the same spot if you don't fucking do anything. But if you take bold action, if you become the type of person that just doesn't allow your complacency to keep you in the same position, then you're the type of person that's on a mission. Then you got that momentum I've been talking about, that feeling like, okay, well, now I'm sitting here, and I'm for sure just gonna sit here and do the same fucking thing. Or if I get out of my van, or if I take my van and meet up with these people, now they're inspiring me, they're reporting at a Porsche, they're helping me grow my channel, and now I got, thousands of people donating to me, giving me money so I can go bungee jumping, so I can go eat something, so I can fucking be doing something, versus the guy that's just sitting in his van, not doing anything, watching this guy on the fucking show. Now he's inspired by this guy telling me I'm a mentor, and I'm like, I'm just a fucking teacher, bro. I'm just teaching people that I gotta live before I die. It's a really hard concept to realize, but it's one of these things where you're just you're kind of making a decision without even making a decision. It's kind of like not voting is a vote. So by you not voting, that gives the other representative a vote. And you're like, well, my vote doesn't count. And I hear that a lot in America. People just don't give a rat's ass. They just fucking want to talk the shit and not involve themselves at all. Well, if you're not involved, then you can't complain. That's one of our big things in life, is that we say is like, you can't complain if you didn't entertain, if you didn't vote, if you didn't fucking put in any effort at all. You can't sit around and bitch and nobody wants to hear it at all. So it's one of these things that it's like, he could still be the same guy sitting in the same van in the same position, but he's not anymore. Now he's got momentum. Now he's pushed into visiting these other dudes. Now he's pushed into seeing other sites. Now he's the type of guy to be able to realize that his life has life, that he has adventure. It's right on the end of his fingertips. All he had to do was boldly go. And we talk about it all the time in Star Trek, boldly go where no man's gone before. But it's one of those things, where have you not gone before? What have you not tried? What have you had in your head that you said, oh yeah, if I had more money, I would do this, or if I had a girlfriend, I would do that, or if I had a job, this would happen, or this or that would happen. And that's what started to really make sense to me. I didn't expect this guy to come towards me to meet me in Thailand. What I expected was I connect to Thailand and then go into New Zealand. Hopefully stop in Australia a little bit because I'm so far in the cooch of the crutch of it, of the whole world is at the end of New Zealand. He said, I'm going to go meet my favorite scopers. I'm going to go meet my favorite content creators. And by doing so, I now put myself in front of his people. I start putting myself in front of 20,000 viewers. And now I go from my 1,000 viewers to my almost 8,500 viewers. And then I start getting inspired to go live every day. Then I get inspired to go to Melbourne, Australia. I'm speaking in his person, third person, but then he gets inspired to go follow them to Melbourne. Now he's going live every day from Australia, and those guys are fucking giving him their audience. And it's like such a blessing, but it wouldn't have been a blessing unless he took action. And since now he took action, now he's got momentum, and now his wheels are spinning. So now he's tumbling from New Zealand to Australia. And because of Australia, now he's heading to Vietnam. He's going into Vietnam and didn't know he needed a visa. So last minute, he's buying a visa, called some random number off of WhatsApp, and the guy's like, our offices are closing in 2 hours. He puts on some 300 New Zealand dollars, about $250 US. Some guy he's never met before off the internet, and all of a sudden he gives this guy a fucking chance. This guy fucking calls him up, slaps him the visa while he's going on the plane. There's a lot of people go, oh, I don't have the visa, so I can't go. He already booked the ticket before he had the visa. It reminds me of myself going all the way to Machu Picchu, when these girls are like, yeah, we're going to Machu Picchu. You're more than welcome to come. We've been planning it for a year. My passport wasn't even done. Literally, my passport, after I expedited it for $200, came rushing literally the day before I flew out. Like, it was a huge touchdown. Right in the FedEx, boom, new passport, your boy Marky Saint, in effect, ready for fucking travel. But when I booked the trip, I wasn't ready for travel. I hadn't planned a whole year to go to Machu Picchu. I wasn't planning on going to Machu Picchu at all. All I heard was 5 hot chicks are going to Machu Picchu, and all I thought was, I'm almost 40. I better climb this mountain with my OG knees before I'm too old and I can't do it anymore. So that's what I did, is I just said, let's fucking go. Before I had a passport, before I had a ticket, before I had a plan, I just said, I'm gonna go. And that gave me the energy and the indomitable spirit to fucking go after things that meant something to me. It made me take bold action, even if I was scared, even if I didn't have any money, even if I didn't have a passport, I would go somewhere. Now he's trickling into Vietnam, gonna get to spend 2 weeks in a country I've never been. I'm so excited for him. And then guess what? He's landed already, and he's going to have some fun for the next 2 weeks while I try to catch up to him in Thailand. Then we meet in Thailand together, and we sync our passports so we can go do visa runs and extensions at the same time. It all started to work out. It all started to happen. Last night, I called my guy, and I said, what do we need to do for this event that I created? I was like, I need to make some shirts. Well, the guy that I wanted to make the shirts at was like, you're a competitor. We don't want you doing the shirts. It's a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. Then I was supposed to make shirts at my buddy's walk-in at his tattoo shop, and they're like, no, we already have a t-shirt guy, or missed it last time, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I started to figure it out. I was like, holy shit. If I don't fucking create it, it won't happen. If I don't fucking actually put some life into this idea and kind of give it CPR and give it compressions and put some effort into it, kind of like a push-up, I'm now giving it an opportunity to breathe, an opportunity to come to life. And I called the hum, and he's like, oh man, this is going to be a good event. I was at the bar last week and people were mentioning it, and then is this enough space for you to work? And I have this whole box of shit to give away, and it's already got like 50 euros of stuff inside. And then I'm going to add a shirt. He's going to add a shirt. That's about 40 euros right there. Then if my medtainers come, which I didn't think I was going to get any medtainers. They're the medical containers, medical grade plastic that actually have a grinder and a sealer, so it's smell proof at the top. But I was in Spain talking to them, and they had said, "Oh no, I talked to my boss, and we don't send samples internationally." And I'm like, "Bro, how are you gonna get your shit around the world if you don't fucking actually ship it through to the world?" And she goes, "No." And then next thing I know, last week she gives me a call and says, "We're under new management. I can send internationally now. I want to work with you." And I'm like, "That's awesome. Well, go ahead, send it." And guess what? She sent it. I got the tracking number. And guess what's going to be here November 4th when my event's going on November 4th? So if they didn't take action, their device, the Medtainer, wouldn't be in this weed swag bag of €100 of value and an event that I created. I literally created an event for them to be able to set up their shit. Look at these guys, they're hauling ass. I fucking love it. So it's just one of those things where you got to actually ask yourself how bad you want it. And it's like really a tough question to ask, because it's going to require some effort. And that's what really stops us, is I think the human brain is smart enough to calculate something being difficult. They're going to be smart enough to calculate how much work it's going to entail. And that's why most people bail. Like my ex is like, "Oh my God, I'm going to have to be a mom again. I might have to raise this kid a lot on my own. I got this guy I'm dating. He's an international playboy. He might cheat on me. He might not be there for the birth. Let me think of all the wrong reasons to not have this baby." And she ended up aborting my child. And I'm like, this is all quitter talk. You never once thought how awesome it could be, how we can be an international family. You never once thought how my kids could start speaking multiple languages. You never once thought about my potential as a human being and my indomitable spirit and how much effort I would give to make it work. And that's what people do. They think of all the ways it won't work. I talk about people all the time that do that, but it's fucking annoying as shit, where they can come up, there's a person that has an excuse for every reason, right? There's always a person that's going to have an excuse why they can't do something, or why they can't break their habit, or why they've never done anything in their lives, and they'll convince you. They're convinced already themselves, so they'll easily convince you and go, "Yeah, well, I didn't have money, I didn't have a relationship, I didn't have a destination," and then therefore they never go anywhere. And it was just like, shit, I didn't have a destination. I had no clue I was going to go to Machu Picchu. I had an invitation. And it takes you actually showing up, showing out, and being there for that opportunity to arrive. If you don't knock on the door, nobody will open it. And that's one of the things that really inspired me about my buddy, is he was sitting in a closed door in a closed van, not doing anything. And then all of a sudden he goes, "You know what? Let me go meet up with these dudes. They're some of my favorite scopers. These guys are my people. Let me just go say what's up to them and see what happens from it. I'm for sure know what's going to happen if I sit in my van just smoking weed and watching Mark Saint's show. But what if I make my own show? Why am I just watching this dude's show when I can grow my own channel? And why can't I go meet up with people that have other channels and see how they do it, and maybe absorb their viewers? And then also that puts me in an adventure setting where my mindset is now on where I can go instead of where I am. It's happening to me now. You're now obsessed and motivated about what could happen. This optimism starts to happen in our brains, where most people sit there and pessimistically go over every which way it could go wrong, instead of spending their mind energy on what could go right. And what's going right now is that my friend's now meeting me. He's not going to be all alone in Thailand. He's like, you know how it is when you're traveling and you're all alone. Yeah, I know how it is to be all alone on a couch. I know how it is for you when you're all alone in your van. And I was like, have we met, bro? Yes, I know what it's like to be lonely. And today is Halloween, but it's Finland, so no one's wearing masks and no one really gives a shit. It's not one of their holidays in their religion or their culture. And here I am coming here, and I'm like, I'm going to miss some Christmases. I'm going to miss some Thanksgivings. There are things I'm going to miss, like spending time with my grandma and my mom. And that's part of the calculation. But just like her mom, I guess his aunt told her mom, he's like, this kid's an adventurer. He's already living out of his van. He's already got everything packed up. The only thing he has to do is grab his backpack. He didn't even bring a luggage case like I did. He's all carry-on, ready to go and carry on. He even left his laptop like it's either going to get lost, broken, or stolen. I'm not going to bring it. And I'm like, I got mine. You know what I mean? And not only that, but now you're of the mind that is like, I'm going to fucking do something with my life. And for sure, I got to take an adventure now because I can't buy time. And that's one of the things that most people don't realize, is just like the thing that it's costing you while you're waiting or hesitating, and hesitation is the mother of all accidents, is it's costing you your time. And most people are like, well, what's that worth? Well, most people would tell you maybe 100 grand a year or whatever they make in salary or whatever. No, it's just how much of your lifespan, your lifetime is going to go slip by if you don't take any action and if you don't do anything with your life. And that's the true cost. It's the cost at the end of the grave. It's not the grave, it's not the coffin, it's not the actual burial cost. It's how much time you let go by without being initiated, without being indomitable, without being intrepid. And that's been this whole journey, is just being intrepid. He gave me a whole lift on life that it was like all of a sudden now my friends are starting to sprinkle around Thailand. One of my buddies that is he's Finnish too, but I met him 5 years ago on Koh Chang. He's like, hey, are you in Thailand? I'm like, yep, I'll be in Thailand. Or how about my other friend who's still in Thailand on a student visa, and I met him in Brazil. He's there as well. And then there's my friend Anna, who's all the way up in Chiang Mai, and she's up in the north where all these dudes that I want to meet. I was on the Adam Dunn Show podcast, and these guys were talking about Thailand laws, and they had all sorts of things going on where they're growing the freak show genetics, and they have 14 different stores. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go meet these guys. I would have never got to be close to them if I didn't get on the podcast, and I would have never got on the podcast unless I started my own show, and I wouldn't have been able to start my own show if I didn't start to grow my own clothing and make clothing for other people. I made the Adam Dunn Show shirts, but it also got me on the show. And since I was on the show, I got to meet these dudes, and I haven't met them, like shake hands, met them, but I'm going to meet them. And now I got my co-producer in tow with awesome cameras ready to make content. We're going to film live farms in the north of Thailand, and we're going to see the long necks and the long ears, which I haven't done when I was there last time. And we're going to be together and not lonely and having all sorts of fun, which is also an inspiration when someone else is motivated and they start getting momentum. You want to be near them. You don't want to be next to the person that can't seem to put the controller down or can't seem to motivate themselves and move themselves in a different direction. And that's what it ends up happening is like we keep ourselves stuck. We hold on to our comforts, we hold on to our fears tighter than we hold on to our time and our life. And that's why I keep touching my heart, because I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know how many beats I have left. We all have a set amount of beats in our heart. We think that there are millions of them, and there are, but they start wearing away. And as you grow, you start using that time, and it's like using it or losing it. They say you lose it if you don't use it. So true. If you don't use your time and your force and your energy and your thoughts and your patterns in your advantage, it's for sure going to stack up against you. And time doesn't care regardless. It's impartial. It's going to still drip, but what do you do with that time? Are you the type of person that stays inspired and creates events and creates their own designs and travels the world and just take a chance at it? Or are you the type of person that just sits there and go, life beat me up, and it beat me up because of X, Y, Z, and this is the reasons why I can't be? And that's what really started happening to me. I just started to see that, I didn't realize I was doing it, but a lot of my friends are getting some kind of boost off of my energy and the fact that I do take bold action, and I don't wait for my deathbed, and I don't wait for permission, and I keep creating events even though I'm in a foreign land. I didn't know I was going to start. I knew I was going to make shirts along the way. I left Vegas with my shirt designs, but I didn't know I was going to meet up with my homie here with his print company and make more designs. I didn't know I was going to go to local bars and make shirts live in front of people and talk to random strangers that I would have never met before and get more followers on Instagram. I knew I was going to be trying to grow my business, but I didn't know I was going to be in Mallorca day after day, standing by the bus stop, sucking on a lollipop, trying to get random hot chicks to fucking follow my page. And that's what it started to happen. It was just like, for sure, they're not coming knocking on my door. And for sure, it's scary to go talk to them. But for sure, it's not going to grow unless I fucking do something. And that's all I wanted to do, is just do something. I was get busy living or get busy dying. And I was dying inside. I was just sitting on the couch. I was overeating. I had just got out of jail. My confidence was low. My money was growing low. They just arrested me. I was in 3 different jails. They fucking towed my car. That cost $1,000 $1,000 that I could definitely be using right now. If I go into fucking Thailand with $1,000, I mean, the smile on my face you couldn't wipe off. But right now I'm going in with no money, but that's exciting me because it's like, not for nothing, it's gonna really test you. Life is gonna see your real metal and see what you're really made out of and see if you really want it bad enough. And if you really want it bad enough, money is not gonna stop you. If you really want it bad enough, an excuse isn't gonna stop you. And if you really want something out of your life to come into creation and be something that you've already had a hope, already had an inclination, already had a spark, to get ignition, to be able to lift yourself off the couch, to be able to just put the phone down and just go, okay, brain, work for me. Work in my favor, do something for me that I will be grateful for in the future. And that's where I was just like, this is something fucking dope. This is some epic shit. I never thought that I would be going to Thailand with my friend and having us be co-creators of content and actually get paid for our content around the world. And I'm like, all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I am a world traveler. Wait a minute, I have been all around the world twice, and this is my third time, and maybe I feel like I don't have any value inside, and I'm low on money, and my ex broke up with me and killed my child, and I should be depressed and sucking my thumb. But the only way I knew how to heal myself was travel. It always makes me feel better, but it also makes me challenge myself, because for sure I could sit there in Vegas and just keep going to conventions and doing the same thing over and over again, just paying bills and being on the loop. I jumped off the loop. I jumped off the gerbil wheel. I made my own wheel and said, okay, let's just see what happens when we roll around the world. Let's see what happens when I challenge myself to do something that's really hard, like traveling without money, or creating my brand and promoting it worldwide, and finding different models and finding different events, or creating different events, or finding new places to do it. The one guy said I was competition. Let's knock on the other door that the dude was being very fucking optimistic. He was being helpful with my Tyson papers. He's like, yes, I want these, people like these, and he was already being proactive with me. And it was just so cool to sit there and talk to him. He's like, hey, I'll tear down this little tent. Is this enough space for you? And it's like, yes. And that you heard about my event, yes. And that you're bringing positive energy, blessed. And then that there's going to even be an event after our event for Halloween that night, October 4th. So it's just like I didn't have to miss Halloween. I might have to mix Christmas, but it doesn't matter if I'm missing Christmas, if I'm in Ko Chang at New Year, if I'm turning the mist and the gray into sunshine and play, if I give myself the opportunity to boldly go away from where I was and just sitting and suffering and beating myself up, to the guy that's already on the diet, the guy that's already lost the weight, the guy that's already fucking has his shirts ready, the guy who already has blank shirts and designs, the guy who already has an event ready to go and counting down the days till Saturday, the guy that's gonna sell fucking shirts in the snow just so he can have some dolo, and then he's gonna meet up with his co-creator, and I'm gonna absorb some of his followers, and then hopefully they pay my way so I can go eat and help me fucking bungee jump and help me go to these events that he's already motivated to do. So it's just like I've inspired somebody that has literally been watching me the whole time grow and do my show and supporting me. And in his support, he literally got inspired to go be who he boldly wanted to be and go be a part of the journey instead of just watching the journey. He now is a part of the journey. He's now en route and already in Vietnam, a place I've never been, being able to smile for the next 2 weeks and chill out and get used to Southeast Asia and the weathers and the patterns, and then come join up with his boy Marky Saint in Thailand and start going on adventures. And I have friends, and he can be a part of my support system. We're not alone. It's not like we don't have anybody when we land. I know plenty of people when I land, and it's all because I was bold from before, and it's even better that I'm following it up with it. And as I was being scared and having insomnia, and I don't have any money, and this is some shit now turned into inspiration. Like, I have an outlet to fucking make some money. I did go into Helsinki and knock on those smoke shop doors. I do have products with me, and more products are coming. And as soon as I can go get more followers and more viewers and more models and more shirts and just keep growing, I get to go be somewhere else instead of being on the couch, being in my mind and being in complacency. And that's what has really inspired me this morning. It's indomitable. You're indestructible. You won't let your excuses kill you. You won't let your habits kill your motivation. You won't let something that you won't let yourself down. And that's what really happened, when you can really be true to yourself and be your own ally and be in your own corner and be in your own mind and say to yourself, you know what? Not for nothing, I'm going to take a shot. And that's what life's about, taking that shot. So I hope you boldly pull up, take the shot, hit the buzzer, and even with no money, even without no athletic talent, even without any inspiration, you can start today on anything that you want to do and be able to put yourself in a position of different than same. And that's where we're going to Thailand, where they say same but different. Be bold enough to be different. Be bold enough to give yourself a chance to live. Like my boy Benny Mac was saying, yeah, it might cost me some money, but I'll have to work for a year the next year and pay it all off. Well, you were going to have to work for that year regardless anyway, so might as well live before you die. Might as well do something and try. Then nothing beats a failure but a try. So that's your morning motivation. All my heart from the start, your boy Marky Saint, the Vegas Vice. I'm out here, Saints Addiction. We all the way out here in Finland, and I'm turning this gray into shine. In less than 2 weeks with zero money in my pocket, but I got one sale, so that's 20 euros. And then if I sell some more, then I hope to get at least a couple 500 euros in my pocket so I can fucking do something with my life instead of my life doing something to me. Peace and love. And Chigatan. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finland and Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, or subscribe. I've been doing this show with nobody watching for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, I'm now connecting up with people that are successful with it and have helped. He gave me two payments yesterday. And I was like, he's like, it feels good, right? Doesn't it? And it's like, can you imagine that I'll get paid? I kind of imagined it, that I would get paid to travel. Like that sounds like the most ultimate plan, but are you willing to go live for 10 years straight and have nobody watching and then all of a sudden meet the right people and all of a sudden you got 10,000 followers and I'm talking to me in the third person. As soon as I get 10,000 followers, I'm bona fide. That goes into restaurants and they're giving me free food or they're giving me free weed products so I can promote them and then women treat you different and then you get some respect because right now if I complain, nobody hears, out of my 1,000 followers, maybe 10 people are watching, maybe 5, nobody gives a shit. Once you got about 10,000 followers, now all of a sudden they're looking at you like, whoa, what's going on? And I didn't see it that way because I'm like, I only got 3,000 followers. It's not 30,000. Well, the chick was like, most bars here in Finland don't even have 500. So they're like all stacked. And then there'd be somebody that I'll be jealous of. And then they only got 300. And I'm like, not to compare or anything, but the statistics are there for the mentality of other people. By the time they know that you can capture 10,000 people's energy or hold your own on a show like Benny Mac did when he was like, I could hold my own. I was myself. I knew all the characters. I knew what to say. It's not my first time on a live. And now when you're in front of 20,000 people, you're not Bambi staring in the lights like, oh shit, what is going to happen? What am I going to do? No, you're already taking action. You're already participating and you already got momentum. And that's what inspired me. I was just like, fuck, that's so fucking dope for him to be able to just get into it and make it happen. And he make it happen. It wasn't like he did some athletic thing or an Olympic thing. No, all he did was put the key in the ignition. It starts in here. If you can start telling yourself here, like I've been, all of a sudden I don't feel intimidated by Thailand. All of a sudden I feel inspired and can't wait to go because now my friend's going to be there and I've already got other friends there and it's all going to work itself out. I'm not even worried about it like it's been doing here in Finland. So it's just one of those things where it's like, you know what, I lived before I died. That inspired somebody. Somebody always talks about packing it all up and traveling Europe or going around the world or creating a business. I'm actually doing it, and when people see it, they're like, wait, that guy's actually doing it and he's actually making it. And sure, he has some problems here and there, but those are all achievable. Those are attainable. There's just little obstacles, but once he gets past those obstacles, now he's got huge opportunities. And then now I'm getting in front of people that are pros at this shit, and then I'm going to get to meet his friends and get in front of 20,000 subscribers. And if I get up to 20,000 subscribers, it's a wrap. It's no longer just running my mouth trap. It's not no longer just some guy that just talks in the morning and randomly off the couch all lonely. It's not just like that anymore. I really have gone around the world. I really do take action, and I don't give myself enough credit. I don't touch this hard enough to say, you know what, Saint, that is some brave shit. It is intrepid. It is indomitable that you don't give up on yourself, even though you wanted to die. You wanted to rip your eyes out. You wanted to rip your face off. You lost a child. You've been to South Korean prison. You've been homeless. All these things. Jail in January. And here I am sitting here in Finland at my buddy's spot, sleeping, sheltered, fed, food, clothing, my own. And this is what makes my whole life change. I'm not wearing somebody else's logos. I'm wearing the logos that I created, and it's all from the work that I put in from before. And when I took action then, it now brought fruit now. And that's what you got to do. You got to plant some trees if you want to sit under the shade here. And I'm definitely sitting under the shade later. It's not $1,000 in my bank account kind of shade, but it is faith. You know, it's a belief in myself and my connections and my network and my indomitable spirit that I would be the indomitable snowman. Even in the snow, I would still move forward and conquer. I won't let anything slow me down. I won't make up any excuses. This is life, and I'm going to live it before I die. And that's just, this is one of my shirts, inspired before you expire. And I definitely got inspired by my buddy's events, and that it's all starting to work out and things are starting to work in my favor. And then we were in Helsinki, and then the restaurant was right around the corner, and then we caught the train at the right time, and then I thought I missed the train, and then all started to add up and started to feel like more like synchronicity than the world's against me. And I think people need to hear that sometimes. It's like, you know, because I know it feels like that, because I feel it sometimes, you know. But what I didn't feel was like how I've inspired some people to see other worlds and how they might not ever come to Finland. People are like, what the fuck are you doing in Finland? I'm just visiting my friends. But I wouldn't have had these friends if I didn't go to Thailand and date a Finland girl and then come here to be with her. I wouldn't be here right now. And 10, 15 years later, it's now my friends and our experiences together and how we can travel together, how he wants to go to Australia and how we said we would do that before we're 40. Now I'm 43 and he's 45. We kind of missed that damn thing, but that's still out there. And now he's like, I'm a little bit jealous I'm not going to Thailand with you, you know what I mean? Because we went to Thailand together. So it's just like, how many of my friends have I played Frisbee with around the world? Turkey, England, Thailand, Finland, all these places. I've got certain people that I've actually been able to play Frisbee with around the world. That means both of us were there doing an activity, being in the moment. And that's some rare air. Most of us, we just let these moments go by. We'll just flick on the Netflix. We'll just keep going in the routine because that's what makes us feel comfortable. I dare you, triple dog dare you to challenge yourself and really go somewhere and see what you're made out of. Get dropped off. I remember this movie, and I told my homie, I pulled it on him, but my buddy Hamilton, which is not my friend anymore, but I was like, you got to be tough, bro. Let's go into Brazil. Let's go into a third world country and let's wrestle and let's get you up. And I left him there because I was supposed to have this baby. But in all actuality, what do you give the man that has everything? Have you ever seen that movie, The Game, with Michael Douglas? Watch it. So he's this rich dude, right? I'll tell you real quick the premise. He's this really rich dude, and he's like, you know, New York financier, has the mansion, has all the things. And then they said, let's play a game. And they hired all these people to be actors, and then they dropped his ass off in Mexico, and then he had to fucking dig himself out of a coffin and make his way across the border, and they made him fight again. They made him live more. They made him exist more, as my buddy's company is called, Patrick's company is called, or his band and company, exist more. And to actually challenge the man's life is something that he could have bought anything. He could have bought sailboats, he could have bought yachts, he could have bought another mansion. But what they did is they gave him perspective. They gave him that feeling of, holy shit, what am I doing with my life? And sometimes you got to assess yourself and go, shit, what am I doing? And it's what you're not doing that's really affecting you. It's like what's happening to you. It's what you're not doing about it that affects you. So like they always like to say, you know, you might not be able to control what happens to you in life, but you can control how you respond to it. And that's one of the big things. Are you going to take some stress? Are you going to take some downs and a knee and stay down? Or are you the type of person to get back up knowing damn well you're about to get punched again, but you know what? You'll be damned if you're going to be knocked out by life. You're going to be damned if you're going to be knocked out by your opponent, and you'll be damned if you're not going to live before you die. So one eventuality for sure is that we're going to die, but one thing that's not for sure is that are you going to live before you die? And I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's crazy talk, bro. Money is so important and you should do this financially responsible. And I told that one guy when we were working out at the gym, he's like, well, in 7 years, I'll have my whole life planned out. I'm like, you don't know what's going to happen in those 7 years. It sounds like a prison sentence. You don't even know if you're going to make it those 7 years. Say you do all the financial planning and then in 7 years, you're married and your plans change and you thought, fresh air, and you thought everything was going to be okay, like life is by design. No, life is not by design. Life has all sorts of ups and downs, smiles and frowns, and we don't have a fucking clue what's going to fucking happen, but it will happen to us. Life happens to us, or we can happen to our lives, and that's what's staying inspired for me, is that I'm going to fucking happen to my life. I'm going to fucking push myself forward as the seasons change, and we were talking about it yesterday. It pushes me forward into Thailand and warmer climates and being around a new set of friends and a new set of challenges. It pushes me to go knock on more doors and smoke shops in another emerging market, weed market, to go knock and talk about the Mike Tyson papers or talk about the X vapes or my friends' products, medtainers, whatever it takes, because now I'm in front of them. I'm not just some guy at a podcast that was on a podcast with him 1 or 2 years ago. I'm actually there, and I actually live there, and I actually pasatay noi, so I speak a little bit of Thai. I understand this language. I taught English for 2 years. I fucking put in my work, so I earned my value, and I felt like I was valueless being on my buddy's couch, having no money, and my friends are having to feed me and having to buy me a ticket. But sometimes that's what lifts it up. If he didn't go take his time and go meet up with his other scopers, he wouldn't have got any of that audience. But now he does. He's got a good pocket of 8,500 people. So whenever he goes live, he's entertaining enough to get paid to do it. And I hope that I inspired enough people and I'm entertaining enough to be like, yeah, dude, this guy's actually fucking doing it. Marky Saint, someone you know from Little Boulder City on the outskirts of Las Vegas, has been around the world, has speaking 10 different languages, started a business from nothing, was homeless. He was in South Korean prison, bro, like over 3 grams of weed. He's lost babies and he's still indomitable. He's still not going to let it be shook. Sure, it fucking broke my heart that I fucking lost this baby and this opportunity with this girl, but maybe she didn't see the opportunity in me. She didn't get to see this indomitable spirit of a guy that never quit and never gave up on himself and almost got pinned in front of all his friends and all his teammates and all of Boulder City in my hometown, in my auditorium. Some kid I had mud-whupped and beat up before all of a sudden was trying to pin me 3 different times, and it made it to my local newspaper because I fight off my back. I just thought to myself, no fucking way am I losing to this kid. And he almost got me 3 different times. Some kid that I beat easily from Pahrump, I never forget, some Pahrump kid, green outfit, and he was some skinny kid, and all of a sudden he had the fight in him. And hopefully that challenged him too to keep going, that he almost got an opponent that pinned him so easily. He actually stood up and he can look himself in the face and said, I almost pinned that guy. And he didn't get to pin me, not that day, but your boy Saint ain't going down without a fight. And that's what it ends up happening. You got to ask yourself, you're going to get, life is going to punch you like your boy Sylvester Stallone says, but are you willing to get back up? Can you take a punch? You hit like a bitch. Tell life is a beach, that she hits like a bitch, and that you're not going to go down with some soft punch. And even if it's a hard punch, you're still not going down because you're here for it. You're here to fucking live. And you might be the punch that's a car accident. You might be the punch that's a heart attack. You might be a punch that punches my card. At the same time, I punched a whole shitload before I went down. Hell, I'm down at your ankles biting at them. I'm just tenacious like that, and that's indomitable. That's what makes me the Indomitable Snowman, is to be able to be an indomitable man, that even if you want to fucking leave me, you know what I mean? You want to chastise me, you want to fucking call me names, guess what? I'm going to call myself better names, and not in a narcissistic way or a pump up or artificial, but something that I earned. I actually earned my intrepid behavior. I earned my adventurer spirit. I got on the boat, and just like anybody in the 17th, 16th, 18th century traversing the world, you don't have any guarantees. There weren't any guarantees there weren't going to be any pirates, that there wasn't going to be a storm, that there wasn't going to be a shipwreck, but you got to live. You got to see some Tahiti titties. You got to fucking go eat some food you never thought you'd do before. You got to have a moment that makes you know that you're alive. And that's all this matters to me, is it makes me know that I'm alive, where I feel dead inside, where I feel nothing's gone right, where I had children and I had a wife and I had some stability. In my instability, I'm going to enjoy the fact that I am free, and that I am brave, and that I do have my bags packed, and so do my friends, and that we are gonna go on adventures, and we are gonna live this life before we turn 50. Now I'm already 40, and there's so many things I wanted to do. I started when I was 30. I'm like, I'm almost 30, I don't have any wife, and I don't have any kids, was my mantra. And now guess what? I'm already over 40, I still don't have any wife, I still don't have any kids, and I guess I'm gonna have to put some adventure on me, so that way I raise my value to a prospective wife. I raise my value to someone that will actually love me, and I can try again at something that didn't work out for me this time, but I'm gonna keep biting at the ankles, dude. I'm tenacious. So maybe you didn't believe in me, and you didn't believe in my baby, and you didn't believe in our future. Fine, let me show you what I'm going to do with that time. Same thing that happened with South Korean prison. It was that mentality where they wanted 5 years of my life in solitary confinement. I'm like, why me? Why am I in this jail? Why is this happening to me? Instead of, what am I going to do when I get out? How I'm gonna fight my way out? How many letters do I have to write in the campaigns, or get my mom to write, or my ex-girlfriend to write, to get me out of this fucking jail cell? Because it's only 3 grams and it ain't worth 5 years. What am I gonna do for the 5 years of my life where you were gonna try to keep me locked up and inside? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create Saints Addiction. I'm gonna create labels. I'm gonna be a fashion designer, and not even consider myself a fashion designer, but fashion was my passion. It was since I was a kid. Really design and being artistic and drawing, and like, how does this capitalize on all my connections and all the hands that I shook and all the networks that I built over these years? This is what I'm going to do with my life. This is what I'm going to do. I don't know what to call it. It started in Thailand, had my toes in the sand, just looking at it, and I'm like, what is this thing going to be? I don't know what it's going to be, but I know that I needed something that I could talk to everybody. And then it wasn't just like talking about Toyotas anymore, because that's what it used to be. It's like, only if you wanted to buy a Toyota was I interested in talking to you. What if you wanted a Mazda? What if you wanted a Ford? T-shirts everybody wears. So I was just like, let's talk about T-shirts. Maybe you don't want a T-shirt. Maybe you want a hoodie. Maybe you want a long sleeve. Maybe you want a V-neck. I don't care. And neither does the manufacturers of these clothes. But what about the design? And I got people asking me about the hoodie, and I'm like, bro, they're not cheap. They're like $100. Ooh, I only wanted $50. I'm like, these all over print hoodies aren't cheap, but a lot of compliments. Going to the bar last night, you're so colorful. Everybody always wears black, and that was my fight the power. That was my anarchy moment. I'm like, why are we all wearing black? Why can't we all wear some white sometimes? Why can't we wear some light? Why can't we wear some colors? From the shoes I imported from South Korea that all my friends keep wanting and sliding on and wearing, I'm like, get your own shoes. Or how about I get them for you and create a business that I'm selling these now. I'm the wholesaler for them, and I can make an investment and get like 1,000 pairs of these sandals and flip them real quick and make some income, so I can keep traveling and be free, away from the system, away from a boss, away from someone telling me what to do, when to do it. I wake up on my own time. I eat what I want to eat. I fucking go where I want to go. And sometimes it's not exactly what I want to eat, and sometimes it's not exactly where I want to go, but at least I'm doing something. And that's the biggest thing for anybody in their lives, is to boldly take action and get yourself away from yourself, get yourself away from your mindset, your fucking problems, the emotions of it, and say, okay, I feel like shit today. Well, I guess it's a good time to go work out, right? You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that's like, you're not, what do they call it? You're not motivated. You're just uninspired, and that's what it takes. It takes some ignition to see yourself have momentum and go after the things that you want to do and see and be. And that's what it's all about. Do, see, and be. If you can do, see, and be about your shit, if you can be about it, if you can go see it and actually do it, then you got the confidence, or witness somebody else doing it, then you can get the confidence that it's possible. For forever, nobody could run a sub 4-minute mile, and then all of a sudden someone did it. There were about like 24 other motherfuckers that did it right after, because they saw someone do it. They could see that it is okay to go to Thailand with little money. It is okay to fucking keep scoping even though you don't have anybody following. The guy inspired him. He said, look at this Porsche. Next year it's going to be you. If you keep scoping and you keep making content, you too will be able to drive an all-wheel drive Porsche around the world and go through New Zealand. And I was thinking, the possibilities, bro. Me and this guy, we met because of Periscope 10 years ago, and now he's still doing his Kick account. You can follow him, Benny Mac. He's got a great voice. He's got a great attitude. He's got a great show. He's got great skill sets on how to edit and green screen and do all those things. And then all of a sudden now he's got his own channel, and he absorbs somebody else's channel viewers. And now because of that, he's got a journey to be on himself. He has content to make. All he has to do is hit record because he's actually doing something. He's not on his couch talking about how motivated he is. He's in Vietnam, someplace he's never been, showing how motivated he is. And there's just such an inspiration because it's like, fuck, dude, we're actually doing it. We're actually meeting up. I'm excited to think that we can be paid travelers. We can be paid to go around the world and go see things for people that they might not ever get to see before. Maybe you've never seen the Great Wall of China. Maybe you've never seen Machu Picchu. If you watch my show, I actually went live from Machu Picchu. I couldn't fucking believe it, but I got a Wi-Fi signal on top of the world in this very sacred place that many Inca warriors climbed thousands of feet of elevation, 17,000 feet elevation, going up to there and burying certain artifacts and being at the top of the world. It's a special place, Machu Picchu, and I'm talking 7,000 years ago. I mean, Inca people just climbing and chewing on cocoa leaves, going up to this place and putting the rocks so tight together that you can't even fit a piece of paper between them. I got to see that. You know, I got to be that. I got to actually come across the mountain, and it just gave me this overwhelming feeling of humanity and life. It almost makes me want to cry because it's just like, whoa. These guys built this fucking Shangri-La on top of the mountain, this place that was covered up for thousands of years, like Angkor Wat, another place that I've been, covered with the jungles of Cambodia, and these statues fucking bigger than me, and me able to put my hands. I put my hands on a lot of things, like I can't believe I'm at the Great Wall of China right now. I can't believe I'm at the Hagia Sophia in Turkey, in Constantinople. I can't believe that I actually got to touch these things, and that my hand's so small to it, and that someone else's hand was the one that carved it, and we are both touching hands through time. And that's what it just feels like. It just feels like I'm alive instead of just flicking through the same NFL channel seasons or going to the same bar or doing the same thing. I transformed my life. I transformed my body. I've lost all this weight. I quit sugar. If you can't see, your boy Stan's got some top abs. Yep, those are top abs, you know. And I can't wait to go into Thailand and eat the spicy food and be in the spicy weather so that I melt more too. And then that people can see that there is another side to life. It's not just some dude that's just talking off his fucking couch, but it's a guy that's actually from a small town and still made it around the world 3 times. It's not something that I didn't give myself a lot of creed and credit for, but it's something that it is a something, you know, like we talk about. It's a something. It's almost like, you know, like you know, the Great Wall of China. It's a something, and Angkor Wat in Cambodia, and Machu Picchu in Peru. It's a something. I did something. So whether I didn't want to acknowledge it or not, I started to get on my phone and promote this event. It's like, hey, I'm going to be making shirts Saturday. Come through, get it. I get in Weed Club, and there's like 200 plus people trying to join Weed Club on Instagram. Join Weed Club. You can spell join. You can spell weed, Join, not joint. Join Weed Club. And now I've got some of these FetLife models coming out and following my page. I got some porn stars following my page. I got some pretty high up people in the industry. For some reason, all these glass blowers keep adding me on Facebook. I don't even know what the fuck that is. And I'm talking like maybe 15, 20 dudes. And like, I must be this like underground popular, you got to add this dude, glass blower dude. I don't know. They start adding me on Facebook, and no one's watching me now. But when I started getting on the show, then I realized how powerful I was. Now people can go back and watch my work and see my bad days and see my good days and see my really happy days and see my low days. It's all there because I just left the work right on the YouTube servers, right there for Google to process. And sure, I only made $5 US, and they're not going to cash me out till I made $100, but it only takes one of my videos, like it did when the police were harassing me in Las Vegas when I had my shop. Then all of a sudden I got 500,000 views. So I went from the 2 Million Heart Club on Periscope, getting on Good Morning America smoking weed. Nobody cares, nobody knows, fine. Or that I've been actually in South Korea in prison and I actually wrote a book, The Book Endure. You can follow on Instagram, The Book Endure, or you can go to thebookendure.com, or you can go to Amazon Kindle and buy it for only 10 euros or $10, and you can read the whole story yourself. These are things that I have accomplished. They didn't feel like accomplishments. They felt like detriments, because who wants to go to South Korea in prison? Who wants to be shown that they failed? And that's why I put it here this morning. As it's like, you're not a failure till you give up, you know. And then that's something I had to really tell myself. I felt like giving up. I wanted to quit, but my heart kept beating. You know, I wanted to rip my fucking face off and die in a mist of pain. And I know a lot of people feel that kind of feeling. And then at the same time, I was like, you know what? Let me throw myself to the wolves. I'm gonna die anyway. I'm already dying inside. Why not throw myself to the wolves of life and take a chance and see what's going to happen? That's not just happenstance. That's make a chance and give myself a chance to live, and use my friends and all their energy, and where I go with them, and feeding off of them, and feeding off of our old stories. And that, oh yeah, you did come to Vegas. Oh yeah, we did play Frisbee in Thailand together. Oh yeah, we did have some hot chicks with us, and we were balling out, going to Koh Phi Phi and Phuket and Krabi Islands and all these other things. It's like, I've really done some things. So not to flex on other people, I need to flex for myself. I needed to flex for myself and go, you do have value. You do have some sort of information inside of you, whether you don't see it or not. Maybe you know how to knit. Maybe you know how to fucking sew. Maybe you know how to fucking fix shoes. My buddy fixes shoes and he does really good at it too. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not gonna be a cobbler, but I'm a traveler. And I have a lot of wealth of information on travel, and I learned from the best. My great aunt Marlene, God rest her soul, taught me, you know, Mark, you Saint, you need to take care of you and yours, you know. And then also, you know, here's how do you travel cheap, and then you can go stay at you can't get a better stay for $100 a day, food all included, than a cruise. And I started off with cruises with my aunt. I'd never been nowhere, and then all of a sudden I started going to Mexico and Puerto Vallarta and Cozumel, and then I went to the Grand Cayman Islands, and then we went and did out of Miami and Jamaica, and I'm like, that's just this side. What if I go to Hawaii? Okay, that's just that side. What if I go to Mexico? That's just that side. Here's Canada. That's just that side. And I'm just circling. I still haven't been to Canada. They wouldn't let me up there because of COVID, but I was just doing the immediacy. Basically went to all the states in America, then I went to all the countries around America. Now I'm going to all the countries around the world, bro. Like, I'm about to see Europe this whole summer. How fucking cool is that? I gotta travel Europe during the summer, and I don't know how many people. I wasn't planning that. I was just coming to visit my friends in England, and then go pick up my buddy in Germany, going to Turkey, which I've already been, and then go to Spain, which was new to me, but I already had a buddy that was in Spain. I'm just visiting him, and next thing I know, I'm going through Switzerland. I got invited over to Ireland. I didn't expect to go into Scotland. All these things started to open up. My whole world started to open up. My whole map started to open up. My possibilities started to open up for me. And that's what I'm just grateful for, because I didn't realize I had value. I was feeling worthless. I was feeling like a fuck up. I felt like I fucked up my whole life. That this perfect moment had passed me by, and how dare the God spite me, to why the God still got me breathing. Why did they let me go boldly to these places without any money, without any predictions, without any guarantees? I still get to live. And then all of a sudden, I am surrounded by friends, and I am surrounded by shelter, and I am surrounded by food, and I am surrounded by friends. And I said that already, but it's important to mention that if I hadn't paved the way, if I hadn't planted the tree, I wouldn't be under the shade today. I wouldn't have anybody. I'd be freezing and dying out in the cold. I could be homeless in Vegas. I can be homeless in Finland. I've been homeless before, so it doesn't threaten me none. I can go to jail, I can go to prison, but I can't live every day of my life as if it's actually a life. And that's what I had to do. I had to give my life some life. I had to fucking find it and get inspired by it, and like, you know what, this is fucking pretty cool that we are fucking pretty traveling, and we're gonna get to meet up with each other. And now I got my co-producer with me, and so it just makes all my content that much better. The thumbnails get better, the editing gets better. He's helping me with my shorts. And then all of a sudden it hits, and everybody's gonna say you're an overnight success, but it came to many days putting an hour in on this show, not thinking it was just an hour, just going getting the stuff off the top of my mind, trying to inspire people and pump myself up too. And then all of a sudden it becomes a thing where my ex is like, oh, you got the shit, you had get approval. You're always so vain. You're gonna want other people to see you. To that dude's inspiring. Subscribe to his show. He's been around the world 3 times and he's a successful entrepreneur. What? Yeah. Watch one of my ideas hit. Watch me make $10,000 a month. Watch me fucking get paid to travel. Watch me promote products and sales from it. Watch me become the success that I always intended to be and wanted to be, because I put effort into making it be. And that's what's really happening this morning's motivation. Is I didn't expect to even go a full hour, but I've been so motivated by my buddy taking action. Now he's motivated. He's got momentum. That momentum's going to meet up with my momentum. We're going to go take on Thailand and then go into New Zealand together. He's got a spare fucking van for me. I get to see how he lives. We get to absorb each other's accounts. We get to build up the content, and we get to be successful and intrepid and take on the world by the short and the curlies. And that's your morning motivation. So that's been an hour of my time. What are you going to do with an hour of your next hour of your own time? How are you going to be able to dig your way out of that grave that we made of comfort and complacency, and start giving to live and be and boldly go? And that's what I would like to know. Peace and love. I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this, like, share and subscribe. Share it with a friend. Get them to go like, I told you, bro, you should go. I told you should have signed up. I told you should have bought that ticket. I told you should have just be there. And now you can be. Be, do, have. I'll see you. Ciao.